If you're watching this video, then here's what I'm guessing you just did. You wanted to add a video to your product description. So you've clicked the insert video button, pasted the embed code that you got from YouTube into here, and now you expect your video to show up and it should all work out of the box, right? But you visit your product page and you realize that the video is way too big and it's actually sticking out of the column that it should be in. And it's actually kind of breaking the site. As you can see here on the top, the header actually finishes here. Likewise, the footer and the rest of the site actually finishes here. It's even worse on iPhone or on any mobile. Here I'm testing on an iPhone 12 Pro, and the video completely juts out of the entire body of the website, and it causes this crazy side scroll and this white space to the right. What should be happening is that the video should be 100% width of the container. It should resize responsively, dynamically, according to the size of the screen, right? So here you can see that I've fixed this video and it's actually inside of the container, in line with the button and everything, and it looks fine on mobile as well. So that's what I'm going to be showing you today, how to fix this, because it's only like 3 lines of CSS, so it's very easy to do. Okay, I've deleted my video just so we can go through this together. I'm going to go to the YouTube video, click share, embed, copy the code, and there are 2 ways to add this video. You can click insert video, but usually what I do is go to HTML mode, and then just at the bottom I'm going to paste my iframe, just because usually when you click insert video, it's gonna add the video inside of like a paragraph or something, and that's just unnecessary. Whenever you use these types of editors, not just on Shopify but on all website building platforms, they usually generate kind of crappy code, putting everything into paragraphs, and just I like to keep it more clean by pasting directly into HTML mode. So what we really want to do here is just add some styling. We just want to add some CSS. If you're not familiar with CSS, it can be written like this. We add some style tags. This is still HTML, these tags here, but in between these style tags we can now write CSS. Okay, and what we need to do that is we need to target this iframe somehow, and then we can write some rules. The way to target things in CSS is by adding a class to them in the HTML. A class is just like a name. So we're going to name this iframe responsive video because we want it to be responsive. We want it to resize according to the size of the screen. And now in between our style tags we can write CSS. So we're going to write dot and then paste that responsive video. So what this is saying is the dot means class. So anything with a class of responsive video is going to follow these rules. You put the rules in between curly brackets, and the rules are going to be this: width 100%. Sorry, I'm just going to make this bigger so that you can actually see. I should have done this earlier. That's a colon, that's a semicolon. Okay, so width 100%, and then we're going to say aspect ratio 16:9. Okay, and the height is going to be auto, whatever it needs to be to maintain this width and this aspect ratio, which is the typical aspect ratio of YouTube videos. And if you are a bit familiar with CSS, this aspect ratio thing is kind of new. It's kind of a modern CSS rule, but we can now safely use it across most browsers, which is really cool. And this is all we really needed to do. Now that should work fine. Let's save, and now we can refresh the page, and we'll see that the video fits perfectly on iPhones and it's still in the column on desktop as well. All right, now I want to explain one last thing. This has solved our problem, but we have to do this every time now whenever we add a video into a product description, and that's kind of annoying, right? It would be nice if we don't have to write this out every time. So what we're going to do is actually move this into a separate CSS file, which is going to affect the entire website. And then you don't need to have this in the product description. So I'm going to cut that. Let's go to online store themes, and then under actions, click edit code to enter the code editor for your theme. And what I'm going to do is create a new CSS file for custom CSS. You might already have one if you've made CSS changes to your theme before, but if your theme is completely unmodified, then you won't have any custom CSS files. You just have the CSS files for your theme. we're going to add a new asset, create a blank file, make sure it's CSS, and just call it something like custom.css, right? Maybe something even more memorable, like your name. So here we just created a blank CSS file, and now we can paste this code in here. We don't need these HTML style tags anymore because the entire file is for CSS, and you can hit save. Now this isn't going to take effect yet because we also need to add this CSS file into our theme. You do that by going into your theme.liquid, and you can search by pressing Command F or Control F. You can search for a file called base.css. Here it is. And we're actually just going to copy that, paste it onto the next line, and instead of base, we named our file, custom.css or whatever you named it, and hit save. And now that file is going to be included into your theme, and this code is going to work. So as you can see, all that we have left here is the class name of responsive video on the iframe. And so to summarize, the next time that you want to add a video to your product description, all you need to do is to copy this iframe, and then when you paste it into this insert video, you're going to hit paste, but right after the iframe tag, you're going to add that class that we created of responsive video. And now that's all you're going to need to do, and that's just going to work because we wrote the CSS that is going to be global or affect all pages on your website. After experimenting a bit, I realized that my favorite way to add a video to the product page is actually in one of these collapsible rows. This doesn't actually work by default. The collapsible row does not have a video field. It doesn't have a liquid field either, but I'm going to show you in the next video how you can add a custom liquid field, which allows you to paste that iframe in and add that responsive video class, and then you can have that video inside of a drop-down like this. I'll also show you how you can create a custom YouTube icon. This is also not part of Dawn theme. It's something that I've added, and I'll show you all of that in the next video. So once again, make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and see you next time.